If God knew everything, then why create Satan? Why create a being that would bring pain, chaos, and darkness into the world? This question has disturbed people for centuries because it feels like a contradiction. A perfect God creating something that would fall. But to understand this, you have to go back. Before evil existed, there was only perfection. A realm beyond human imagination. Before rebellion, before darkness, a place of order, light, and absolute nothing was broken. Nothing was out of place. And among all creation, there was one being, not ordinary, not weak, radiant. This was Lucifer. He was not created as a monster, but powerful, beautiful. He was not created as evil. He was created as something, a being of light, a being with intelligence, with influence, with presence. Some believe he was among the highest, close to the center of power. But here is the detail most people ignore. Lucifer was given something dangerous, freedom. Not control, not programming, but the ability to choose. And that changes everything, because without choice, there is no real loyalty. Think about it. If you create something that has no choice but to obey, is that love? Or is that control? Real loyalty only exists when disobedience is possible. And Lucifer had that ability. At first, everything was aligned. Everything was in order. But change does not happen instantly. It starts small. A thought, a feeling, a shift. Lucifer began to see himself differently. Not just as part of creation, but as something more. He saw his own beauty, his own power. And instead of reflecting that back, he kept it. He held on to it. And slowly, pride was born. Not loud, not obvious, but growing, like a crack in something perfect. And that crack spread. He no longer wanted to serve. He wanted to rise, to elevate himself, to take a place that was never his. And that is where everything changed. This was not just disobedience. This was a challenge against order itself, against the structure of everything. And he was not alone. Others saw him. Others listened. And they followed. Because influence is powerful, and rebellion spreads faster than truth. What started as one decision became a movement, a division. Light against darkness, loyalty against pride. And then, the fall happened. Not as a slow decline, but as a collapse, a separation. Lucifer fell from light into darkness, from position into exile. And in that fall, he became something else. Not the being he was created to be, but the result of his choice. This is where Satan begins, not as a creation, but as a transformation. And now we return to the question, why allow this? Why not stop it before it even started? Because stopping it would remove freedom. And without freedom, nothing has meaning. No love, no loyalty, no obedience, only control. And a controlled world is not a real world. The existence of Satan is not just about evil. It is about the possibility of evil and the importance of choice. Because every human faces the same pattern, not on the same scale, but in the same way. You are given choices every day between right and wrong, between truth and deception, between light and darkness. And those choices define you, not your intentions, not your words, but your actions. Satan represents what happens when pride replaces purpose, when self rises above truth. And that is why the story matters, because it is not distant. It is not just history. It is a reflection of what can happen inside anyone. And now the question becomes personal. If you had the same freedom, the same ability to choose, would you remain loyal, or would you fall? Because the same test still exists, even now. So the real question is not, why did God create Satan? The real question is, what will you choose?